tonight. Oh, wow. Welcome, everyone, to the Curtain Theater, to closing night of The Tempest. I'm so glad that those of you who got rained out were able to reschedule, and maybe some of you actually saw that we added a Sunday show and got tickets on your own, so thank you for being here. We have not done a Sunday performance in a good long time, so you guys can be pioneers. Yay! This show has been an absolute labor of love by the cast and the crew and the board and the whole organization. And we could not have done this without you guys wanting to show up and be here to see live theater after the year that we've all had. So give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. A few bits of housekeeping. We have ye old rustic toilets, the orange porta potties over there to the left. It was my right, your left. Feel free to use those. There's hand sanitizer and a hand washing station, as well as bug spray over there. We will have one 15-minute intermission this evening, during which time you may visit the front of house tent and purchase some light concessions. Everything's $1, so it's pretty easy. There's also hand sanitizer over there, should you need it. When we have intermission, you will hear a bell and the lights will turn a different color. Hi, Elena. That's my niece, you guys. And you'll hear a bell. That's the beginning of intermission. You'll hear another bell. That is 5 minutes left. And then you'll hear a third bell. It should be a double bell. That means we are starting the show. If you are not in your seats, you will miss the first line of the scene. We ask that you please not take any flash photography this evening, but you are more than welcome to take photos and post them on your social medias. Please tag us at The Barons Men on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We love seeing you see us. Feeds our ego. We will have a few special guest stars this evening in the roles of the goddesses. We have recurring guest stars Robert Stevens and Michael Osborne, as well as special second night only guest star Jonah Fujikawa. So give them a round of applause real quick. Thank you. If you rented seat backs, please do return them to the blue buckets at the end of the night so we can sanitize them before putting them in storage until the fall. It should go without saying, there's no smoking in the wooden box you're sitting in. I did have to actually tell someone to please put out their smoking apparatus. If you would like to do that, you may do so at intermission in the parking area. I think, is that the actors, one last thing. The actors, this cast and crew, we have been COVID-free for almost 3 months now. Not a single case came through our cast and crew. So we'd like to keep it that way. The actors will go backstage after curtain call to put on masks. If you are interacting with an actor who is not a person you hug or kiss on the regular, please also wear your mask. Just be respectful of them. They've worked really hard. I know you guys are all working hard or else you wouldn't be here. Is there anything I've forgotten? No? I think that's it. So I know it's muggy, but do your best to enjoy this beautiful Austin evening and enjoy The Tempest.
There's the charitable dog.
Work, you then.
Hang, cur! Hang, you horsed insolent bastard! We are less afraid to be drowned than thou art!
Oh, we're him for drowning. So the ship for no stronger than a nutshell. And it's liquid as an starch wench. Oh! Oh! Better to part the lobsters and we're off.
All lost! To prayer!
Prayers all lost.
What must our mouths be cold?
The Queen and Prince are in prayers. Let us assist them through our causes and theirs.
Oh, I have had patience.
We are merely cheated of our life by drunkards! This one ship rascal would thou mindest like drowning the washroom 10 times!
Oh, he'll be hanged yet. Though every drop of water swears against him, and Gap and Wine has to let him out. He split.
Please,
He
please!
split. He split.
Farewell!
He
Let
split.
all sing with the
Let it out, but I give a velvet furlong. Come see her negro barren ground. Long heath, ground, earth, anything. The will above me done, but I would fain die and try down.
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this world, lay them! The sky, it seems, would pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea, mounting to the welcome sheet, dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. The brave vessel, who had no doubt some noble creature in her, dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth or air, should the good ship so have swallowed, and the frauding souls within her.
Be collected. No more amazement. Tell your piteous heart there's no harm done. I have done all in care of thee, my dear one, thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art, not knowing of whence I am, nor that I am more better than Prospero, master of a full poor cell, and thy no greater father. Wipe thine eyes. The direful spectacle of the wreck which touched the very virtue of compassion in thee, I have with such provision in mine heart so safely ordered, that there is no harm betide to any creature in the vessel which thou heardst cry, which thou sawest sink. Sit down, for thou must now know farther.
You have often begun to tell me what I am, but stopped, and left me to a bootless inquisition, concluding, stay, not yet.
The hour's now come. The very minute bids thee ope thine ear. Obey and be attentive. Canst thou remember a time before we came unto this cell? I do not think thou canst, for then thou wast not out 6 years old.
I can, though 'tis far off, and rather like a dream than an assurance that my remembrance warrants. Had I not 4 or 5 women once that tended me?
Thou hadst, and more, Miranda. But how is it that this lives in thy mind? What seest thou else in the dark backward and abysm of time, if thou rememberest aught ere thou camest here, how thou camest here thou mayst?
But that I do not.
12 years since, Miranda. 12 years since. Thy father was the Duke of Milan, and a prince of power, and thou, his only heir and princess, no worse issued.
Oh, the heavens! What foul play had we that we came from thence, or what blusters we did?
Both, my girl. My foul play, as thou sayest, were we heaved thence, but blessedly hope hither.
My heart bleeds to think of the teen that I've turned you to, which is from my remembrance. Please you farther.
My brother and thy uncle, Antonio, that a brother should be so perfidious. He who next to thyself, Miranda, of all the world I love, and to him put the manage of my state, as at that time through all the signories it was the first, and Prospero the prime duke, being so reputed in dignity and for the liberal arts without a parallel. Those being all my study, the government I cast upon my brother, and to my state grew stranger, being transported and wrapped in secret studies. Thy false uncle, dost thou attend me?
Sir, most heedfully.
Antonio perfected how to grant suits, how to deny them, who to advance and who to trash for overtopping. He knew formed the creatures that were mine. Having both key of officer and office, set all the hearts of the state to what tune pleased his ear, thou attendst not.
Good sir, I do.
I thus neglecting worldly ends, In my false brother awaked an evil nature. And my trust, like a good parent, did beget of him a falsehood in its contrary as great as my trust was, which indeed had no limit, a confidence sans bound. He being thus lorded with not only what my revenue yielded, but what my power might else exact, made such a sinner of his own memory to credit his lie, he did believe he was indeed the Duke. Out of the substitution and executing the outward face of royalty with all prerogative, hence his ambition growing, dost thou hear?
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness.
To have no screen between this part he played and him he played it for, his needs will be absolute Milan. Me, poor man, my library was dukedom large enough. Of temporal royalties he thinks me now incapable, so dry he was for sway with the Queen of Naples. Confederates, to give her annual tribute, to do her homage, subject his coronet to her crown, and bend the dukedom yet unbowed. Alas, poor Milan, to most ignoble stooping. Mark his condition in the event, and tell me if this might be a brother.
I should sin, sir, to think but nobly of my grandmother. Good wounds have borne bad sons.
Now the condition. The Queen of Naples, being an enemy to me inveterate, hearkens my brother's suit, which was that she, in lieu of the premises of homage, and I know not how much tribute, should presently extirpate me and mine out of the dukedom, and confer fair Milan with all the honors on my brother. Whereon, a treacherous army levied one midnight fated to the purpose, did Antonio open the gates of Milan, and in the dead of darkness, the ministers for the purpose hurried thence me and thy crying self.
Wherefore did they not that hour destroy us?
Dear, they durst not. So dear the love my people bore me, nor set a mark so bloody on the business. But with fairer colors painted their foul ends. In few, they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to sea, where they had prepared a rotten carcass of a boat. There they hoist us, to cry to the sea that roared to us, to sigh to the winds, whose pity sighing back again did us but loving wrong.
Alack, what trouble was I then to you?
Oh, a cherubim, thou wast that did preserve me. Thou wouldst smile infused with a fortitude from heaven, when I had decked the sea with drops full salt under my birth and groan, which raised in me an undergoing stomach to bear up against what should ensue.
How came we ashore?
By providence divine. Some food we had, and some fresh water that a noble Neapolitan, Gonzala, out of her charity then appointed master of this design, did give us, with rich garments, linens, stuffs, and necessaries, which since have steadied much. So, of her gentleness, knowing I loved my books, she furnished me from mine own library with volumes that I prize above my dukedom.
Would I might but ever see that woman!
Sit still and hear the last of our sea sorrow. Here in this island did we arrive, and here have I, thy schoolmaster, made thee more profit than other princesses can that have more time for vainer hours and tutors not so careful.
Heavens thank you for it. And now I pray you, sir, for still 'tis beating in my mind, your reason for raising the sea storm.
Bountiful fortune, now my dear lady, hath mine enemies brought to this shore. And by my prescience I find my zenith doth depend on a most auspicious star, whose influence, if I now court not but omit, my fortunes will ever after droop. Here, cease thy questions. Thou art inclined to sleep. 'Tis a good dullness, and give it way. I know thou canst not choose. Come away, servant, come! I am ready now. Approach my Ariel, come!
All hail, great master, grave sir, hail! I come to answer thy best pleasure, be it to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled clouds, to thy strong bidding, task Ariel and all his quality.
Hast thou spirit performed to the point the Tempest that I bade thee?
To every article, I boarded the queen's ship, now on the beak, the waist, the deck, in every cabin I flamed amazement. Sometime I divide and burn in many places. On the topmast, the yards, the bowsprit would I flame distinctly, then meet and join. Jove's lightning, the precursors of the dreadful thunderclap, more momentary in sight outrunning were not. The fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble. Yea, his dread trident shake.
My brave spirit, who was so firm, so constant that this coil would not infect his reason.
Not a soul but felt a fever of the mad and played some tricks of desperation. All but mariners plunged into the foaming brine and quit the vessel, then now the fire with me. The queen's son Ferdinand, with hair upstaring, then like reeds, not hair, was the first man that leapt and cried, "Hell is empty, and all the bells are here!"
Why, that's my spirit. But was not this nigh shore?
Oh, close by, my master.
But are they aerial safe?
Not a hair perished, and on their sustaining garments not a blemish, but fresher than before. And as thou baitest me in troops, I have dispersed them about the isle. The queen's son I landed by himself, whom I left cooling of the air with sighs, in an odd angle of the isle, his arms in a sad knot.
Of the queen's ship, the mariners, they have thou hast disposed, and all the rest of the fleet.
Well, safely in harbor is the queen's ship, and the deep nook where thou once caused me up at midnight to fetch dew from the still vexed vermouths. There she's hid, the mariners all under hatches stowed, whom with charmed joy into their suffered labors I have left asleep. And for the rest of the fleet which I dispersed, they have now met and are upon the Mediterranean float, bound sadly home for Naples, supposing they saw the queen's ship wrecked and her great person perish.
Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed, but there's more work. What is the time of the day?
Past the mid-season.
At least 2 glasses. The time twixt 6 and now must by us both be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet performed to me.
How now? Moody, what is't thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Before the time be out! No more.
I prithee, remember I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made thee no mistaking, served without grudge or grumblings. Thou did promise to bait me a full year.
Dost thou forget from what a torment I did free thee?
No.
Thou dost? And thinkst it much to tread the ooze of the salt deep, to run on the sharp wind of the north, to do me business in the veins of the earth when it is baked with frost?
I do not...
Thou liest, malignant thing! Hast thou forgot the foul witch Sycorax, who with age and envy was grown into a hoop? Hast thou forgot her?
No, sir.
Thou hast! Where was she born? Speak, tell me.
Sir, in Algiers.
Oh, was she so? I must once in a month recount what thou hast been, which thou forgett'st. This damned witch Sycorax, for mischiefs manifold and sorceries terrible to enter human hearing, from Algiers thou knowst was banished. For one thing she did, they would not take her life. Is not this true?
Aye, sir.
This blue-eyed hag was hither brought with child, and here was left by the sailors. Thou, my slave, as thou reportst to thyself, was then her servant. And for thou wast a spirit too delicate to act her earthy and abhorred commands, refusing her grand hests, she did confine thee into a cloven pine, within which rift, imprisoned, thou didst painfully remain 12 years, within which space she died, and left thee there where thou didst vent thy groans as fast as mill will strike. Then was this island, save for the son that she did litter here, a mewing whelp hag-born, not honored with a human shape.
Yes, Caliban, her son.
Thou thing, I say so. He, that Caliban, whom now I keep in service, thou best knowst what a torment I did find thee in. It was mine art when I arrived and heard thee that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou more murmurest, I'll rend an oak and peg thee in his nutty entrails till thou hast howled away 12 winters.
Pardon, master, I shall be correspondent to command and do my spiriting gently.
Do so. And after 2 days, I will discharge thee.
That's my noble master. What shall I do? Say what shall I do?
Go make thyself like a nymph of the sea. Be subject to no sight but thine and mine, and visible to every eyeball else. Go take this shape and hither come it. Go, hence, with diligence. Awake, dear heart, awake. Thou hast slept well, awake.
The strangeness of your story put heaviness in me.
Shake it off. Come on. We'll go visit Caliban, my slave, who never yields us a kind answer.
He's a villain, sir, I do not love to look on.
But as 'tis, we cannot miss him. He does make our fires, fetch in our wood, and serves in offices that profit us. What ho, slave! Caliban thou if thou speak!
There's wood enough within.
Come forth, I say! There's other business for thee! Thou poisonous slave got by the devil himself upon thy wicked dam. Come forth!
As wicked do as ere my mother brushed with raven's feather from unwholesome fen drop on you both. A southwest blow on ye and blister you all over.
Oh, for this, be sure tonight thou shalt have cramps. Side stitches that shall pin thy breath up. Urchins shall for that vast of night that they may work all exercise on thee. Thou shalt be pinched as thick as honeycomb each pinch, more stinging than bees that made 'em.
I must eat my dinner. This island is mine, by Sycorax my mother, which thou takest from me. When thou camest first, thou strokest me and madest much of me, wouldst give me water with berries in't, and teach me how to name the bigger light and how the less that burn by day and night. And then I loved thee, and showed thee all the qualities of the isle. The fresh springs, brine pits, barren place, and fertile cursed. Be I that did so. All the charms of Sycorax, toads, beetles, bats light on you. For I am all the subjects that you have, which first was mine own king. And here you stay me in this hard rock, whilst you do keep from me the rest of the island.
Thou most lying slave, whom stripes may move not kindness, I have used thee, filth as thou art, with human care, and lodged thee in mine own cell till thou didst seek to violate the honor of my child.
Oh ho, would it had been done. Thou didst prevent me. I had people else this isle with Caliban.
Abhorred slave! Which any print of goodness wilt not take, being capable of all ill. I pitied thee, took pains to make thee speak, taught thee each hour one thing or other when thou didst not, savage, know thine own meaning, but wouldst gabble like a thing most brutish. I endowed thy purposes with words that made them known. But thy vile race, though thou didst learn, had that in it which good natures could not abide to be with. Therefore wast thou deservedly confined into this rock, who hadst deserved more than a prison.
You taught me language. And my profit on't is I know how to curse. The red plague rids you for learning me your language.
Hence! Fetch us and fuel and be quick. Thou'rt best to answer other business. Shrugst thou malice? If thou neglect'st or dost unwillingly what I command, I'll rack thee with old cramps, fill all thy bones with aches, make thee roar that beasts shall tremble at thy den.
No! Pray thee. I must obey. His art is of such power it would control my damn's god, Setebos, and make a vassal of him.
So, slave, hence.
Come unto these yellow sands, and then take hands. Curtsied when you haven't kissed, the wild waves whist. Foot it featly here and there, and sweet sprites the burthen bear. Hark, hark, bow wow, the watchdogs bark. Bow wow, hark, hark, I hear the strain of strutty chanticleer cry, cock-a-doodle down.
Where should this music be? The air, the earth? It sounds no more, and sure it waits upon some god of the isle. Sitting on a bank, weeping against the queen my mother's wreck, this music crept by me upon the waters, allaying both their fury and my passion with its sweet airs. Thence I have followed it. Or it hath led me, rather. But 'tis gone. No, it begins again.
thy mother lie, of her bones are coral made. Those are pearls that were her eyes, nothing of her that doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange. Sea nymphs hourly ring her knell. Hark, now I hear them. Hark, now I hear them. Ding dong bell. Ding dong bell. Ding dong bell. Ding dong bell.
The ditty does remember my drowned mother. This is no mortal business, nor no sound the earth owes. Hear it now, above me.
The fringed curtain of thine eye advance, and say what thou seest young.
What is it? Spirit. Lord, how it looks about. Believe me, sir, it carries a brave form. It is a spirit.
No, child. It eats and sleeps and hath such senses as we have such. This gallant which thou seest was in the wreck, and but he something stained with grief that's beauty's canker, thou mightst call him a goodly person. He hath lost his fellows, and strays about to find them.
I might call him a thing divine. Nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
It goes on, I see, as my soul prompts it. Spirit, fine spirit, I'll free thee within 2 days for this.
Most sure, the goddess on whom these airs attend. Vouchsafe my prayer may know if you remain upon this isle, and that you will some good instruction give how I may bear me here. My prime request, which I do last pronounce, is, oh, you wonder, if you be maid or no.
No wonder, sir, but certainly a maid.
My language, heavens, I am the best of them that speak this speech, were I but where 'tis spoken.
How? The best. What wert thou if the Queen of Naples heard thee?
A single thing, as I am now, that wonders to hear you speak of Naples. She does hear me, and that she does I weep. Myself am Naples, who with mine own eyes, never since at ebb, beheld the Queen, my mother, wrecked.
Alack for mercy.
Yes, faith, and all her lords, including the Duke of Milan.
The Duke of Milan and his more braver daughter could control thee if now 'twere fit to do't. At the first sight they have changed eyes. Delicate Ariel, I'll set thee free for this. A word, good sir. I fear you have done yourself some wrong. A word.
Why speaks my father so ungently? This is the third man that e'er I saw. The first that e'er I sighed for. Pity move my father to be inclined my way.
Oh, if a virgin and your affection knock on forth, I'll make you the Queen of Naples.
Soft! Sir, one word more. They are both in either's powers, but this swift business I must uneasy make, lest too light winning make the prize light. One word more. I charge thee that thou attend me. Thou dost here usurp the name thou owest not, and hast put thyself upon this island as a spy, to win it from me, the Lord Hunt.
No, as I am a man.
There's nothing ill can dwell in such a temple. If the ill spirit have so fair a house, good things will strive to dwell within it.
Follow me. Speak not you for him, he's a traitor. Come, I'll manacle thy neck and feet together. Sea water shalt thou drink. Thy food shall be the fresh brook mussels, withered roots and husks, wherein the acorn cradled. Follow.
No, I will resist such entertainment until mine enemy has more power.
Oh, dear father, make not too rash a trial of him, for he's gentle and not fearful.
What? I say my foot my tutor? Ha! Put thy sword up, traitor, who makest to show but darest not strike. Thy conscience is so possessed with guilt. Come from thy ward, for I can here disarm thee with this stick and make thy weapon drop.
Seat you, father.
Hits! Hang not on my garments!
Sir, have pity. I'll be his surety.
Silence! One word more shall make me chide thee, if not hate thee. What, an advocate for an impostor? Hush! Thou thinkst there are no more such shapes as he, having seen but him and Caliban. Foolish girl, To the most of men, that is a Caliban, and they to him are angels.
My affections then are most humble. I have no ambition to see a goodlier man.
Come on, obey. Thy nerves are in their infancy again and have no vigor in them.
So they are. My spirits, as in a dream, are all bound up. My mother's loss, the weakness which I feel, the wreck of all my friends, nor this man's threats to which I am subdued, are but light to me. Might I but through my prison once a day behold this maid? All corners else of the earth at liberty make use of. Space enough have I in such a prison.
It works. Come on. Thou hast done well, fine Ariel. Hark what thou else shalt do me. Follow me.
Be of comfort, sir. My father's of a better nature than he appears by speech. This is unwanted which now came from him.
Thou shalt be free as mountain winds, but then exactly do all points of my command.
To thy syllable.
Come, follow. Speak not for him.
Beseech you, madam, be merry. You have cause. So have we all of joy, for our escape is much beyond our loss. For a hint of woe is common. Every day some sailor's wife, the masters of some merchant, and the merchant have just our theme of woe. But for the miracle, I mean our preservation, few in millions can speak like us. Then wisely, my liege, weigh our sorrow with our comfort.
Prithee, peace.
She receives comfort like cold porridge.
The visitor will not give her over so.
Look, she's winding up the watch for a wit. By and by we'll strike.
My queen,
One, tell.
when every grief is entertained that's offered, comes to the entertainer.
$1.
Dolor comes to him indeed. You have spoken truer than you purpose.
You have taken it wiselier than I meant you should.
Therefore, my lady,
Fie, what a spendthrift is she of her tongue.
I prithee spare.
well, I have done. But yet,
She will be talking.
Which, of she or Francisca? For a good wager, first begins to crow.
The old cock?
The cockerel.
Done. The wager?
A laughter.
A match.
Though this island seemed to be desert, uninhabitable and almost inaccessible,
Yet,
She could not miss it.
it must needs be of subtle, tender, and delicate temperance.
Temperance was a delicate wench.
I and a subtle as she most learnedly delivered.
The air breathes upon us here most sweetly.
As if it had lungs and rotten ones.
Or as 'twere perfumed by a fen.
here is everything advantageous to life.
True, say means to live.
Of that there is none, or little.
How lush and lusty the grass looks! How green!
The ground indeed is tawny.
With an eye of greenant.
She misses not much.
No, she doth but mistake the truth totally.
But the rarity of it is, which indeed almost beyond credit,
As many vouched rarities are.
that our garments, now being as they were drenched in the sea, hold now withstanding their freshness and glosses, being rather new dyed than stained with salt water.
If but one of her pockets could speak, would it not say she lies?
Aye, or very falsely pockets up her report.
Methinks our garments now were as fresh as when we first put them on in Afrique, at the marriage of the Queen's fair daughter Claribel to the King of Tunis.
'Twas a sweet marriage, and we prosper well in our return.
Tunis never did was graced with such a paragon to their queen.
Not since Widow Dido's time.
Widow? A pox on that. How came that widow in? Widow Dido?
What if she had said widower Aeneas too? Good lady, how you take it.
Widow Dido, said you? You make me study of that. She was of Carthage, not of Tunis.
This Tunis girl was Carthage.
Carthage?
I assure you, Carthage.
Her word is more than the miraculous harp. She hath raised the walls and houses too.
What impossible matter will she make easy next?
I think she will carry this island home in her pocket and give it her son for an apple.
And sowing the kernels of it in the sea, bring forth more islands.
My lady, we were just talking. Our garments now seem as fresh as they were when we were at Tunis. at the marriage of your daughter, who is now queen.
And the rarest that e'er came there.
Bates, I beseech you, Widow Dido.
Oh, Widow Dido, aye, Widow Dido.
Is not, madam, my dress as fresh as the day I first wore it? I mean, a sort.
That sort was well fished for.
When I wore it at your daughter's marriage.
You cram these words into my ears against the stomach of my sense. Ah, would I had never married my daughter there, but coming thence, my son is lost, and in my rage, she too, who is so far from Italy removed, I shall never see her again. Ah, thou mine heir of Naples and Milan, what strange fish hath made his meal on thee?
Madam, he may live. I saw him beat the surges under him and ride upon their backs. He trod the water, whose enmity he flung aside, and breasted the surge most swollen that met him. His bold head above the contentious waves he kept, and oared himself with his good arms in lusty stroke to the shore, where, o'er his wave-worn basis, bode, as stooping to relieve him. I not doubt he came alive to land.
No, he's gone.
Sister, you may thank yourself for this great loss, that will not bless our Europe with your daughter, but rather lose her to an African, where she at least is banished from your eye, who hath caused the wet the grief on't.
Prithee, peace.
You were kneeled to, and importuned otherwise by all of us. The fair soul herself weighed between loathness and obedience, at which end the beam should bow. We have lost your son, I fear, forever. Milan and Naples have more widows in them of this business-making than we bring men to comfort them. The fault's your own.
And so is the dearest of the lost.
My Lord Sebastian! Oh, the truth you speak doth lack some gentleness and time to speak it in. You rub the sore when you should bring the plaster.
Very well.
And most surgeonly.
It is foul weather in us all, good sir, when you are cloudy.
Foul weather.
Very foul.
Oh, had I a plantation of this isle, my lord,
She'd sow a nettle seed.
Or docks, or mallows.
and were queen on it, what would I do?
Escape being drunk for want of wine.
I would, by contraries, execute all things. For no kind of traffic would I admit, no name of magistrate. Letters should not be known. All men idle, all, and women too, but innocent and pure. No sovereignty.
Yet she would be queen on't?
The latter end of her commonwealth forgets the beginning.
All things in common. Nature should produce without sweat or endeavor, and should bring forth all force in an abundance to feed my innocent people.
No marrying, monster subjects.
None, man. All idle, whores and knaves.
I would, with such perfection govern, sir, to excel the golden age.
God save her majesty.
Long live Gonzala.
Ooh. And do you mark me, madam?
Oh, I prithee no more. Thou dost talk nothing to me.
I do well believe, your highness, and did it to minister occasion to these gentlemen, who are always of such sensible and nimble lungs that they always used to laugh at nothing.
'Twas you we laughed at.
Who in this kind of merry fooling am nothing to you, so you may continue to laugh at nothing still.
Oh, what a blow there was given.
And it had not fallen flat long.
You are gentlemen of brave metal. You would lift the moon out of her sphere. She would continue in it 5 weeks without changing.
We would so. And then go a bat fowler.
Oh,
Nay, good my lady, be not angry.
hey, I warned you I will not adventure my discretion so weakly. Oh, will you laugh me asleep?
asleep and hear us?
What, all so soon asleep? I wish with mine eyes I could shut up my thoughts. I feel I inclined to do so.
Please, you sister, do not omit the heavy offer of it. It seldom visits sorrow. When it does, it is a comforter.
We too, my lady, will guard your person while you take your rest and watch your safety.
Pretty bags, wondrous heavy.
What a strange drowsiness possesses them.
It is the quality of the climate.
Then why doth not our eyelids sink? I find not myself disposed to sleep.
Nor I. My spirits are nimble. They fell together all as by consent. They dropped as by a thunderstroke. What might, worthy Sebastian? Oh, what might? No more. And yet, methinks I see it in thy face, what thou shouldest be. The occasion speaks thee, and my strong imagination sees a crown dropping upon thy head.
What? Art thou waking?
Do you not hear me speak?
I do, and surely 'tis a sleepy language, and thou dost talk us out of thy sleep. What is it thou didst say? It is a strange repose to be asleep with eyes wide open, standing, speaking, moving, and yet so fast asleep.
Noble Sebastian, thou lettest thy fortune sleep. Die rather, winkst while thou art waking.
Thou dost snore distinctly, there's meaning in thy snores.
I'm more serious than my custom. You must be so too. If heed me troubles the oar.
I am standing water.
I'll teach you how to flow.
Do so to ebb. Hereditary sloth instructs me.
Oh, if you but knew how you the purpose cherish, while thus you mock it, how in stripping it you more invest it. Ebbing men indeed most often do so near the bottom run by their own fear or sloth.
Prithee, say on. The setting of thine eye and cheek proclaim a matter from thee, and a birth indeed which throws thee much to yield.
Thus, sir, although this lady of weak remembrance, this who shall be of as little memory when she is earth, hath here almost persuade, for she's a spirit of persuasion, only professes to persuade the queen her son's alive. 'Tis impossible that he's undrowned as she that sleeps here swims.
I have no hope that he is undrowned.
Oh, out of that no hope, what great hope have you? No hope that way is another way so high a hope that even ambition cannot pierce a wink beyond, but doubt discovery there. Will you grant with me that Ferdinand is drowned?
He's gone.
Then tell me, who's the next heir of Naples?
Clarabelle.
She that is queen of Tunis? She that dwells 10 leagues beyond man's life? She that from Naples can have no note unless the sun were post, the man in the moon's too slow, till newborn chins be rough and razorable. She that from whom we all were sea swallowed, though some cast again, and by that destiny to perform an act, whereof what's past is prologue, what to come in yours and my discharge.
What stuff is this? How say you? 'Tis true my sister's daughter is queen of Tunis, so is she heir of Naples. Twixt which regions there is some space.
A space whose every cubit seems to cry out, how shall this Clarabelle measure us back to Naples? Keep in Tunis and let Sebastian wake. Say, this were death that now has seized them. Why, they're no worse than now they are. There be that can rule Naples as well as she that sleeps. Lords that can prate as amply and unnecessarily as this Gonzala. I myself can make a cup of his deep chat. Oh, that you bore the mind that I do. What a sleeper this for your advancement. Do you understand me?
Methinks I do.
And how does your custom tender your own good fortune?
I remember you did supplant your brother, Prospero.
True. And look how well my garments sit upon me. Much better than before. My brother's servants were then my fellows. Now they are my men.
But for your conscience.
Aye, sir, where lies that? Torquay would put me to my slipper, but I feel not that deity in my bosom. 20 consciences stand twixt me and Milan. Candied be they and melt ere they molest. Here lies your sister. No better the earth she lies upon, if she were that which now she's like. That's dead, whom I, with this obedient steel, 3 inches of it, can lay to bed forever. Whilst you, doing thus to the perpetual wink, for I might put this crusty morsel, this Dame Prudence, who should not upbraid our course. For all the rest, they'll take suggestion as a cat laps milk. They'll tell the clock to any business we say befits the hour.
Thy case, dear friend, shall be my precedent. As thou gotst Milan, I'll come by Naples, draw thy sword. One stroke shall free thee from the tribute which thou payest, and I, the king, shall love thee.
Draw together, and when I rear my hand, do you the like to fall it on Gonzalo?
Oh, but one word.
My master through his art foresees the danger that you, his friend, are in, and sends me forth, for else his project dies, to keep them living. While you here do soaring lie, open-eyed conspiracy, her time doth take, if of life you keep a care. Shake off slumber, and beware. Awake, awake.
Now, good angels, preserve the queen!
Oh, why how now? Oh, awake? Why are you drawn? Why for such ghastly looking?
What's the matter?
Whilst we stood here securing your repose, even now we heard a hollow burst of bellowing like bulls, or rather, lions. Did it not wake you? It struck mine ear most terribly.
I heard nothing.
Oh, 'twas it didn't fright a monster's ear to make an earthquake. Sure, it was the roar of a whole herd of lions.
Heard you this, Gonzalo?
Upon mine honor, lady, I heard a humming, which should awake me. I saw their weapons drawn. There was a noise, that's verily. 'Tis best we stand upon our guard, or else we quit this place. Let's draw our weapons.
Lead off this ground, and let's make further search for my poor son.
Heavens keep him from these beasts, for he assured the isle.
Lead away!
Prospero, my lord, shall know what I have done. So, queen, go safely on to seek thy son.
All the infections that the sun sucks up from bugs, fens, flats on Prosper fall, and make him by inch me all a disease. His spirits hear me, and yet I needs must curse. But they'll nor pinch, fright me with urging shows, pitch me in the mire, nor lead me like a firebrand in the dark out of my way, unless he bid him. But for every trifle are they set upon me, sometime like apes that mow and chatter at me, and after bite me, then like hedgehogs which lie tumbling in my barefoot way and mount their pricks at my footfall. Sometime am I all wound with adders who with cloven tongues do hiss me into madness. Lo, now lo, here comes the spirit of his, and to torment me for bringing wood home slowly. Oh, fall flat. Perchance he will not mind me.
There's neither bush nor shrub to bear off any weather at all. Oh, and another storm brewing. I hear it sing in the wind. Yon same black cloud, yon huge one, looks like a foul bomber that would shed its liquor. Oh, if it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. Yon same cloud cannot choose befall by pailfuls. Ah! Whoa! Oh! What have we here? A man or a fish? Dead or alive? Oh! A fish. He smells like a fish. A very ancient and fish-like smell. A kind of not of the newest Port John. A strange fish. Were I in England now as once I was, and had but this fish painted, not a holiday fool there but would give a piece of silver. There would this monster make a man. Well, any strange beast there makes a man. When they would not give a doit to relieve a lame beggar, they will lazy out 10 to see a dead Indian. Legged like a man, and his fins like arms. Warm on my truth! I do now let loose my pinion, hold it no longer. This is no fish, but an islander who hath lately suffered by a thunderbolt. Alas, the storm has come again! Oh, my best way is to creep under his gabardine. There's no other shelter hereabouts. Misery acquaints a lady with strange bedfellows.
swabber, the boatswain, and I, the gunner and his mate, loved Moll, Meg, and Miriam, and Marjorie, but none of us cared for Kate. For she had a tongue with a tang, would say to a sailor, go hang. She loved not the savor of tar nor of pitch, but a tailor might scratch her where'er she did itch. Then to sea, boys, and let her go hang, go hang, go hang, go hang, go hang. Then to sea, boys, and let her go hang. Go hang! Then to sea, boys, and let her go hang! Now, this is a scurvy tune, too. But here's my comfort.
Do not torment me.
Oh, what's the matter? Have we devils here? Do you put tricks upon us with savages and men of end? Ha! I have not scaped drowning to be afeard now of your 4 legs. For it hath been said, as proper a man as ever went on 4 legs cannot make him give ground, and it shall be said so again while Stefano breathes his nostrils.
The spirit torments me.
This is some monster of the isle with 4 legs, who hath got, as I take it, an ague. Who the devil should he learn our language? I will give him some relief if it be but for that. If I can recover him and keep him tame and get to Naples with him, he's a present for any emperor that ever trod on neat's leather.
Do not torment me, prithee. I'll bring my wood home faster.
He's in his fit now and doesn't talk after the wisest. Shall he taste of my bottle? Shall he taste of my bottle? If he have never drunk wine afore, he won't go near to remove his fits. If I can recover him and keep him tame, I'll not take too much for him. He shall pay for him that hath them, and that soundly.
Thou dost me yet but little hurt. Thou wilt anon, I know it by thy trembling. Now prosper works upon me.
Come on thy ways, open your mouth. Here is that which will give language to you, cat. Open your mouth. Oh, this will shake your shaking, I can tell you, and that soundly. Oh, you cannot tell who's your friend. Open your chaps again!
I should know that voice. It should be, but he is drowned. And these are devils! Oh, defend me!
4 legs and 2 voices? A most delicate monster. His forward voice is to speak well of his friend, me. His backward voice is to utter foul speeches and to detract. If all the wine in my bottle can recover him, I will help your ague. Come! I'll pour some in thy other mouth. Yeah! Does thy other mouth call me? Mercy, mercy. This is a devil and no monster. I will leave him. I have no long spoon.
Stefano! If thou beest Stefano, touch me and speak to me, for I am Trinculo. Be not afeard. Thy good friend, Trinculo!
Well, if thou beest Trinculo, come forth. I will pull thee by the lesser legs. If any be Trinculo's legs, these are they. Hey! Thou art very Trinculo indeed! Whoa. How camest thou to be the siege of this moon calf? Can he vent Trinculos?
I took him to be cured with a thunderstroke. And art thou not drowned, Stefano?
No!
I hope now thou art not drowned.
Me too.
Is the storm overblown? I hid me under the dead mooncalf's gabardine for fear of the storm. And art thou living, Stefano?
Yay!
Oh, Stefano!
Oh, Prithee, do not turn me about. My stomach is not constant.
These be fine things, and if they be not sprites, that's the brave god and bear celestial liquor. I will kneel to him.
How didst thou escape? How camest thou hither? Swear by this bottle how thou camest hither. I escaped upon a butt of sack which the sailors heaved overboard. By this bottle, which I made of the bark of a tree with mine own hands since I was cast ashore.
I'll swear upon that bottle to be thy true subject, for the liquor is not earthly.
Here, swear then how thou escapest.
Swum ashore, man, like duck. I can swim like a duck, oh, he swore!
Uh-oh, here, kiss the book. Though thou canst swim like a duck, thou art made like a goose.
Oh, Stefano, hast any more of this?
The whole butt, man. My cellar is in a rock by the seaside. Shh, where my wine is. Shh. How now, moon calf? How does thine ague?
Hast thou not dropped from heaven?
Oh, out of the moon, I do assure thee. I was the man in the moon when time was.
I have seen thee in her, and I do adore thee. My mistress showed me thee and thy dog and thy bush.
Come, swear to that. Kiss the book, swear.
By this good light, a very shallow monster. I have feared of him, a very weak monster. The man in the moon! A most poor, credulous monster. Oh, well-drawn monster and good soothe.
I'll show thee every fertile inch of this island, and I will kiss thy foot. I prithee, be my god.
By this light, a most perfidious and drunken monster. When God's asleep, he'll rob his bottle.
I'll kiss thy foot. I'll swear myself thy subject.
Come on then, down and swear.
I shall laugh myself to death at this puppy-headed monster. A most scurvy monster. I would find in my heart to beat him.
Come, kiss.
But that the poor monster's in drink. An abominable monster.
I'll show thee the best springs. I'll pluck thee berries. I'll fish for thee and get thee wood enough. A plague upon the tyrant that I serve. I'll bear him no more stakes, but follow thee, thou wondrous man.
A most ridiculous monster to make a wonder of a poor drunkard.
I prithee, let me bring thee where crabs grow, and I, with my long nails, will dig thee pig nuts. Show thee a jay's nest, and instruct thee how to snare the nimble marmoset. I'll bring thee to clustering filberts, and sometimes I'll get thee young scamels from the rock. Wilt thou go with me?
I prithee now, lead the way without any more talking. Trinculo, the queen and all our company else being drowned, we shall inherit here. Here, bear my bottle, fellow Trinculo. By and by.
Farewell, master. Farewell, farewell!
A howling monster, a drunken monster.
No more dams I'll make for fish, nor fetch and firing, yet requiring no script trencher, nor wash dish. Ban, ban, Caliban. Has a new master, get a new man. Freedom, heyday, heyday, freedom, freedom, heyday, freedom.
Oh, brave monster, lead the way!
There be some sports are painful, and their labors delight in them sets off. Some kinds of baseness are nobly undergone, and most poor matters point to rich ends. This, my mean task, would be as heavy to me as odious. But the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead and makes my labors pleasures. Oh, she's 10 times more gentle than her father's crabbed, and he's composed of harshness. I must remove some thousands of these logs and pile them up against Soren Junction. My sweet mistress weeps when she sees me work, and says such basis has never like executor. I forget. But such sweet thoughts do even refresh my labors. Most busy less when I do it.
Alas now, pray you, work not so hard. I would the lightning had burnt up those logs that you are enjoined to pile. Pray set it down and rest you. When this burns, who'll weep for having wearied you? My father is hard at study. Pray now, rest yourself. He's safe these 3 hours.
Oh, most dear mistress, the sun will set before I shall discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs a while. Pray give me that. I'll carry to the pile.
No, precious creature. I would rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you such dishonor undergo, while I sit lazily by.
It would become me as well as it does you, and I should do it with much more ease, for my goodwill is to it, and yours it is against.
Poor worm, thou art infected. This visitation shows it.
You look wearily.
No, noble mistress, 'tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you, chiefly so I may set it in my prayers. What is your name?
Miranda.
Admired Miranda. Indeed, the top of admiration. Worth what's dearest to the world. Full many a lady have I eyed with best regard, and many a time the harmony of their tongues hath into bondage brought my too diligent ear. For several virtues have I liked several women. Never any with so fun soul, but always some defect in her did quarrel with the noblest grace she owed, and put it to the foil. But you, oh you, so perfect and so peerless, are created of every creature's best.
I do not know one of my sex. No woman's face remember, save for my glass mine own. Nor have I seen more that I may call men than you, good friend, and my dear father. How features are abroad, I am skilless of. But by my modesty, the jewel in my dower, I would not wish any companion in the world but you, nor can imagination form a shape besides yourself to like of. But I prattle something too wildly in my father's precepts, I therein do forget.
I am in my condition a prince, Miranda. I do think a king. I would not so, and would no sooner endure this wooden slavery than to suffer the flesh while I blow my mouth. Hear my soul speak. The very instant I saw you did my heart fly to your service. There resides to make me slave to it, and for your sake am I this patient logman.
Do you love me?
O heaven, O earth, bear witness to this sound, and crown what I profess with kind event if I speak true. If hollowly, invert what best is boded me to mischief. I, beyond all limit else in the world, do love, prize, honor you.
I am a fool to weep at what I am glad of.
Fair encounter of two most rare affections. Heavens rain grace on that which breathes between them.
Wherefore weep you?
Mine unworthiness that dare not offer what I desire to give, much less take what I shall die to want. But this is trifling. The more it seeks to hide itself, the bigger bulk it shows. Hence bashful cunning, and prompt me plain and holy innocence. I am your wife, if you will marry me. But if not, I'll die your maid. To be your fellow you may deny me, but I'll be your servant, whether you will or no.
My mistress dearest, and I thus humble ever?
My husband, then.
I, with a heart as willing as bondage ere of freedom. Here's my hand.
And mine, with my heart in it. And now farewell. Half an hour hence.
1,000,000!
Oh, so glad of this as they I cannot be, who are surprised withal. But my rejoicing at nothing can be more. I'll to my book, for yet ere supper time must I perform much business appertaining.
When the butt is out, we will drink water, not a drop before. Therefore, bear up and boredom. Servant monster, drink to me.
Servant monster. The folly of this island. They say there is 5 upon this isle. We are 3 of them. If the other 2 be brained like us, the state totters.
Drink, servant monster, when I bid thee. Thy eyes are almost set in thy head.
Where would they be set else? He were a brave monster indeed if they were set in his tail.
My man monster has drowned his tongue in sack. For my part, the sea cannot drown me. I swam ere I could recover the shore 35 leagues. Off and on. By this light, thou shalt be my lieutenant monster or my standard.
Your lieutenant, if you list. He's no standard.
Will not run, monsieur.
Nor go neither. Yet you lie like dogs and yet say nothing neither.
Mooncalf, speak once in thy life, if thou beest a good mooncalf.
How does thy honor? Let me lick thy shoe. I'll not serve her. She's not valiant.
Thou liest, most ignorant monster. I am in case to justle a constable. Why, thou debauched fish, thou! Was there ever man a coward that hath drunk so much sack as I today? Wilt thou tell a monstrous lie, being but half a fish and half a monster?
Lo, how she mocks me. Wilt thou let her, my lord?
Oh, Lord, quoth he, that a monster should be such a natural.
Lo, again, bite her to death, I prithee.
Trinculo, keep a good tongue in your head. If you prove a mutineer, the next tree. The poor monster's my subject, and he shall not suffer indignity.
I thank my noble lord. Wilt thou be pleased to hearken once again to the suit I made to thee?
Marry will I. Go on, repeat it. I will stand, and so shall Trinculo. And so shall Trinculo.
As I told thee before, I am subject to a tyrant, a sorcerer, that by his cunning hath cheated me of the island.
Thou liest!
Thou liest, thou jesting monkey, thou! I would my valiant master would destroy thee! I do not lie!
Trinculo, if you interrupt the monster in his tail by this hand, I will supplant some of your teeth.
Why, I said nothing.
Well, mum then, and no more. Proceed.
I say, by sorcery he got this isle. For me he got it. If thy greatness will revenge it on him, for I know thou darest, thou shalt be lord of it, and I'll serve thee.
How now shall this be compassed? Canst thou bring me to the party?
Yea, my lord, I'll yield him thee asleep, where thou mayest knock a nail into his head.
Thou liest, thou canst
What? Apide ninnies this, thou scurvy patch. I do beseech thy greatness, give her blows and take her bottle from her. When that's gone, she shall drink nut but brine, for I'll not show her where the quick freshes are.
Trinculo, run into no further danger. Interrupt the monster one word further, and by this hand, I will turn my mercy out of doors and make a stockfish of thee.
Why, what did I? I did nothing. Ooh, I'll go further off.
Well, does thou not say he lied?
Thou liest!
Oh, do I so? Take thou that! Now, as you like this, give me the lie another time!
I did not give the lie!
No!
Out of your wits and bearing too! Pox on your bottle. This would sack and drinking do. A mutant on your monster and the devil take your fingers!
Beat her enough after a little time, I'll beat her too.
No. Now forward with your tale. Prithee, stand farther off. Good.
Why, as I told thee, 'tis a custom with him in the afternoon to sleep. There thou mayest brain him, having first seized his books, or with a log batter his skull, or punch him with a stake, or cut his weasand with thy knife. Remember first to possess his books, for without them he is but a sot as I am, nor hath not one spirit to command. They all do hate him as rootedly as I. Burn but his books. He has brave utensils, for so he calls them, which when he has a house he'll deck withal, and that most deeply to consider is the beauty of his daughter. He himself calls her a nonpareil. I never saw a woman, but only Sycorax, my dam, and she, but she, as far surpasseth Sycorax, his greatest does least.
Is it so brave, alas?
Aye, Lord. She will become thy bed, I warrant, and bring thee forth brave brood.
Monster, I will kill this man. His daughter and I shall be king and queen, save her graces, and Trinculo and thyself shall be viceroys. Dost thou like the plot, Trinculo?
Excellent.
Give me your hand. I'm sorry I beat thee. But whilst thou livest, keep a good tongue in your head.
Within this half hour will he be asleep. Wilt thou destroy him then?
Aye, on mine honor.
This will I tell my master.
Thou makest me merry. I am full of pleasure. Let us be jocund. Will you troll the cats you taught me but while
At thy request, monster, I will do reason. Any reason. Come on, Trinculo, let us sing. Flout 'em and scout 'em.
And scout 'em and flout 'em.
Thought is faith.
That's not the tune.
What is this saying?
It's the tune of our catch. Played there at the picture of nobody.
If thou beest a man, show thyself in thy likeness. If thou beest a devil, take it as thou wilt.
Oh, forgive me my sin!
No! He that dies pays all debts. I defy thee! No, mercy upon us.
Art thou afeard?
No, monster, not I.
Be not afeard. This isle is full of noises, sounds, and sweet airs that give delight and hurt not. Sometimes 1,000 twangling instruments will hum about mine ears, and sometimes voices that if I then had waked after long sleep will make me sleep again. And then, in dreaming, the clouds methought would open and show riches ready to drop upon me, that when I waked, I cried to dream again.
This will prove a brave kingdom to me, when I can have my music for nothing.
When Prospero is destroyed.
Yeah, that'll be by and by. I remember the story.
The sound is going away. Let's follow it! And after, do our work!
Lead, monster, I'll follow. When I can see this Tabor, hoo-hoo, he lays it on! Bum, 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 bum.
Firelark and I can go no further, madam. Oh, these my bones ache. Here's a maze trodden deep through forthrace and meanders. By your patience, I needs must rest me.
Mistress, I cannot blame thee, who am myself attached with weariness to the dawning of my senses. Sit down. Rest. Even here I shall put off my hope and keep it no longer for my flatterer. He is drowned whom thus we stray to find, and the sea mocks our frustrate search on land. Well, let him go.
I am right glad that she's so out of hope. Do not for one repulse forgo the purpose that you resolve to effect.
To the next advantage, we'll take thoroughly.
Let it be tonight, for now they are pressed with travel. They will not nor cannot use such vigilance as when they're fresh.
I say tonight, no more.
What harmony is this? My good friend's harp.
Marvelous. Sweet music.
Give us, kind keepers, heavens. What were these?
A living drollery. I believe that there are unicorns, that in Arabia there is one tree, the phoenix throne, one phoenix that our reigning there.
I'll believe both. And what does else want credit? Come to me and I'll be sworn 'tis true. Travelers ne'er did lie, though fools at home condemn 'em.
If in Naples I should report this now, would they believe me? If I should say, I saw such islanders, for certain these are people of the island, who, though they be of monstrous shape, yet note their manners are more gentle kind than any of your Human yet generation you shall find many. Nay, almost any.
Honest lady, thou hast said well. For some of you, their present are worse than devils.
I cannot too much muse. Such shapes, such gestures, such sound, expressing, although they want the use of tongue, a kind of excellent dumb discourse.
They vanish strangely.
No matter, since they left their vines behind, for we have stomachs. Will it please you to taste of what is here?
Not I.
Faith, liege, you need not fear. When we were youths, who would believe there were mountaineers dewlaps like bulls whose throats had at them hanging wallets of flesh, or that there were such men whose heads stood in their breasts, which we find each putter out of 5 for one would bring good warrant of.
I will stand to and feed, although my last, no matter, for I fear the best is past. Brother, my lord the duke, stand to and do as we.
You three are carved of sin, whom destiny that hath to instrument this lower world, and what is in it, the never-separated sea have caused to belch up you. And on this island where man doth not inhabit, you amongst men be most unfit to live. I made thee mad, and even with such like valor men hang and drown their proper selves. You fools, I and my fellow ministers are like. The elements of whom your swords are tempered may as well wound the loud winds, or with the mocked at stabs kill the still closing waters, as diminish one dow that's in my plume. My fellow ministers are like invulnerable. If you could hurt, your swords are now too massy for your strength, and will not be uplifted. But remember, for that's my business to you, that you three from Milan to supplant good Prospero, exposed unto the sea, which hath requited him and his innocent child, for which foul deeds the powers delaying, not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores, yea, all creatures against your peace. Thee of thy son, Alonzo, they have bereft, and do pronounce by me lingering perdition, worse than any death can be at once, shall step by step attend you in your ways, whose wrath to guard you from which here on this most desolate isle, else falls upon your head, is nothing but heart sorrow and a clear life ensuing.
Bravely disfigured and harpy, thou hast performed my Ariel, my high charms work, and these mine enemies are all knit up in their distractions. They now are in my power. And in these fits I leave them, while I visit young Ferdinand, whom they suppose is drowned, and his and mine loved darling.
In the name of something holy, my lady, why stand you in this strange stare?
Oh, it's monstrous, monstrous. Methought the billows spoke and told me of it. The wind did sing it to me. I'm the thunder that deep and dreadful organ pipe pronounced the name Prosper. I did base my trespass. Therefore my song in the ooze lies bedded. I will seek him deeper than air plummet sounded, and with him there lie mudded.
But one fiend at a time. I'll fight the Legion's hour.
I'll be that second.
All 3 of them are desperate. Their great guilt, like poison given to work a great time after, now begins to bite the spirits. Follow them swiftly, and hinder them from what this ecstasy may now provoke them to.
Follow, I pray you.
If I have too austerely punished you, your compensation makes amends. For I have given you here 1/3 of mine own life, or that for which I live. All thy vexations were but my trials of thy love, and thou hast strangely stood the test. O Ferdinand, thou shalt find that she will outstrip all praise and make it halt behind her.
I do believe it, against an oracle.
Then, as my gift, take my daughter. But if thou dost break her virgin knot before all ceremonies may be ministered, Sour-eyed disdain and discord shall bestrew the union of thy bed with weeds so loathly that you shall hate it both.
As I hope for quiet days, fair issue, and long life, with love such as 'tis now, the murkiest den, the most opportune place, the strongest suggestion our worst genius can, shall never melt mine honor into lust, to take away the edge of that day's celebrations.
Fairly spoke. Sit then and talk with her, she is thine own. What Ariel, my industrious servant, Ariel!
What would my coat, master? Here I am.
Thou and thy meaner fellows your last service did worthily perform, and I must use you in such another trick. Go bring the rabble, or whom I give you power, here to this place, and cite them to quick motion, for I must bestow upon the eyes of this young couple some vanity of mine art. It is my promise, and they expect it from me.
Before you can say, come and go, breathe twice and cry, so-so. Each one tripping on his toe will be here with mop and mow. Do you love me, master? No?
Dearly, my delicate Ariel, do not approach till thou dost hear me call. Now come, goddess Iris, bring thy sister Ceres to bless this chaste betrothal. Appear, and pertly. No tongue, all eyes, be silent.
Ceres, most bounteous lady, thy rich leaves of whiskey, rye, barley, vetches, oats, and peas, thy turfy mountains where live the nibbling sheep, and flat meads thatched with stover them to keep, thy banks with pined and twilled brims, which spongy April at thy best betrims to make cold nymphs chaste crowns, thy broom groves whose shadow the dismissed bachelor loves, being last lorn, thy pole-clipped vineyards, where thy sea marge, sterile and rocky hard, where thou thyself dost err, the queen of the sky, whose watery arch and messenger am I, bids thee leave these, and with her sovereign grace, on this grass plot, in this very place, to come and sport. Her peacocks fly amain. Come, rich Ceres, her to entertain.
Hail, you, whose shining wings upon my flowers diffuseth honey drops, refreshing showers, and with each end of thy light bow thus crown my bosky acres and my untrubbed down. Rich scoff to my proud earth, why hath thy queen summoned me hither to this short grass green?
A contract of twelve to celebrate, and a donation freely to estate on the blessed couple.
Highest queen of state, great Juno comes. I know her by her gait.
How does my bounteous sister? Go with me to bless this twain, that they may prosperous be and honored in their issue. Honor, riches, marriage, blessing, long continuance, and increasing. Hourly joys bestow upon you. Juno sings her blessings upon you.
Earth's increase, voice in plenty, barns and garners never empty, vines and clustering bunches growing, plants with goodly burthen bowing. Scarcity and want shall shun you. Ceres' blessing so is on you.
A most majestic vision, and harmoniously charmingly. May I be bold to think these spirits?
Spirits which by mine art I have called from their confines to enact my present fancies.
Let me live here ever. So rare a wondered father and a wife makes this place paradise.
You nymphs called naiads from your winding brooks, with your sedged crowns and ever harmless looks, leave thy clipped channels, and here on this land answer to thy summons. Juno does command. Come here, a celebration of true love to celebrate with this company. Be not too late.
The minute of the beast Caliban and his confederates' plot against my life is almost come.
You sunburnt sicklemen of August weary, leave your furrows and be merry, make holiday, put your rye straw hats on, and each of these fresh nymphs encounter everyone in country footing.
Well done! Oh boy! No more!
This is strange. Your father's in some passion that works him strongly.
Never till this day saw I him touched with such agitation.
You do look, my son, in a moved sort, as if you were dismayed. Be cheerful, sir. Our revels now are ended. And these, our actors, as I foretold, were all spirits and are melted into air, into thin air, and like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. Sir, I am vexed. Bear with my weakness, my brain is troubled. Be not disturbed with my infirmity. If you be pleased, retire into my cell and there repose. A turn or two I'll walk to still my beating mind.
Yes, Father.
We wish your peace.
Come with a thought, I thank thee, Ariel, come!
Thy thoughts I cleave to, what's thy pleasure?
Spirit, we must prepare to meet with Caliban. Say again, where didst thou leave these varlets?
I told you, sir, they were red hot with drinking, so full of valor that they smote the air for breathing in their faces, beat the ground for kissing of their feet, yet always bending towards their project. Then I beat my tabor, at which like unbacked colts they pricked their ears, advanced their eyelids, lifted up their noses as they smelt music. So I charmed their ears that cap like lowing, they followed my calls through tooth briars, sharp furs as pricking goss and thorns, which entered their frail shins. At last, I left them beyond your cell in the filthy mantled pool, there dancing up to the chins, that the foul lake o'erstunk their feet.
This was well done, my bird. Thy shape invisible retain thou still, the trumpery in my house. Go bring it hither, for stale to catch these thieves.
I go.
Devil! A born devil on whose nature and nurture can never stick, on whom my pains, humanely taken all lost, quite lost. I will plague them even to roaring.
Pray you, tread softly that the blind mole may not hear a footfall. We now are near his cell.
Monster, your fairy, which you say is a harmless fairy, has done little better than play the gates with us!
Monster, I do smell all horse piss, in which my nose is in great indignation.
So is mine too. Dost thou hear, monster? If I should take a displeasure against you, look you.
Thou wert but a lost monster.
Good my lord, give me thy favor still. Be patient, for the prize I'll bring thee to shall hoodwink this mischance. Therefore speak softly. All's hushed as midnight yet.
Aye, but to lose our bottle in the pool!
Oh, there is not only disgrace and dishonor in that monster, but an infinite loss.
It's more to me than my wedding. Yet this is your harmless fairy monster.
I will fetch off my bottle, though I be o'er ears for my labor.
Prithee, my king, be quiet. Seest thou here? This is the mouth of his cell. No noise, and enter. Do that good mischief which may make this island thine own forever, and I, thy Caliban, for I, thy foot licker.
I do begin to have bloody thoughts.
Oh, King Stefano.
What?
Oh, Peer. Oh, worthy Stefano. Look what a wardrobe here is for thee.
Let that alone, thou fool. It is but trash.
Oh, ho, monster. We know it belongs in a frippery. Oh, King Stefano.
Trinculo, put off that gown. By this hand, I'll have that gown.
Oh, thy gracious master.
Dropsy, drown this fool. What do you mean to dote thus on such luggage? Let's alone and do the murder first. If he awake from toe to crown, he'll fill our skins with pinches, make us strange stuff.
Be you quiet, monster! Aho, Mistress Line! Is this my jerkin? Now is the jerkin under the line! Jerkin, thou'rt like to lose your hair and prove a bald jerkin!
Oh, do. We still buy line and level, ain't like your grace.
Thank thee for that jest. There's a garment for it. It shall not go unrewarded while I am king of this country. Steel by line and level is an excellent pass of bait. There's another garment for it.
Come, monster. Put some lime upon your fingers and away with the rest.
I will have none on't. We shall lose our time and all be turned to barnacles or to apes with foreheads villainous low.
Monster, lay to your fingers and help to bear this to where my hogshead of wine is, or I will turn you out of my kingdom. Go to, take this.
And this.
Aye, and this.
That they grind their joints with dry convulsions. Let them be hunted soundly.
Hark they roar!
Now does my project gather to a head. My charms crack not, my spirits obey, and time goes upright in his carriage. How's the day?
On the 6th hour, at which time, my lord, you said our work should cease.
I did say so, when I first raised the Tempest. Say, Spirit, how fares the Queen and her followers?
Confined together in the same fashion as you gave in charge, just as you left them. All prisoners, sir, in the lime grove that weather fends your cell, they cannot budge till you release. The Queen, her brother, and yours abide all three distracted, in the manger mourning over them brimful of sorrow and dismay. But chiefly her that you term, sir, the good Mistress Gonzala. Her tears run down her cheeks like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. Your charm so strongly works so that if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender.
Dost thou think so, Spirit?
Mine would, sir, were I human.
And mine shall. Though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick. Yet, with my nobler reason, gainst my fearing, I do take part. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. They being penitent, the sole drift of my purpose doth extend not a frown further. Go release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves.
I'll fetch them, sir.
Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune and do fly him when he comes back, by whose aid I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azured vaults set roaring war. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers oped and led them forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I here abjure. And when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, to work mine end upon their senses that this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book. There stand, for you are spell stopped. Holy Gonzala, honorable lady, mine eyes even sociable to the show of thine fall fellowly drops. Oh, good Gonzala, my true preserver, and loyal maid to her you followest. I will pay thy graces home, both in word and deed. Most cruelly didst thou, Alonza, use me and my daughter. Thy brother was a furtherer in the act, Thou shalt be pinched for it now, Sebastian. Flesh and blood. You, brother mine, who entertained ambition, expelled remorse and nature, who with Sebastian would here have killed your queen. I do forgive thee, unnatural though thou art. Their understanding begins to swell, and the approaching tide will shortly fill the reasonable shore that now lies foul and muddy. Not one of them that yet looks on me or would know me, Ariel. Fetch me the hat and rapier from my cell. I shall discase me, and myself present as I was sometime Milan. Quickly, spirit, thou shalt ere long be free.
Where the bee sucks, there's a guide. In a cow's lip bell I lie. There I couch when owls do cry. On the bat's back I do fly. After summer merrily, merrily, merrily shall I live now, under the blossom that hangs on the bough. Merrily, merrily shall I live now, under the blossom that hangs on the bough.
Why, that's my dainty Ariel. I shall miss thee, but yet thou shalt have freedom. So, to the queen's ship, invisible as thou art, there shalt thou find the boatswain asleep. Being awake, enforce him to this place, and presently, I prithee.
I drink the air before me and return, or ere your pulse twice beat.
All torment, trouble, wonder, and amazement inhabits here. Some heavenly power guide us out of this fearful country.
Behold! O queen, the wronged Duke of Milan, Prospero. For more assurance that a living prince does now speak to thee, I embrace thy body. And to thee and thy company I bid a hearty welcome.
Whether thou beest here, no, or some enchanted trifle to abuse me, as late I have been, I not know. Thy pulse beats as of flesh and blood, and since I saw thee, the affliction of my mind immense, with which I fear a madness held. This must prove, and if this be at all, a most strange story. Thy dukedom I resign, and do entreat thou pardon me my wrongs. But how should Prospero be living with thee here?
Whether this be or be not, I'll not swear.
You do yet taste some subtleties of the isle which will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends, all but you, my brace of lords. Were I so minded, I could here pluck her highness's frown upon you and justify you traitors. At this time, I will tell no tales.
The devil speaks in him.
No, for you, most wicked sir, whom to call brother would even infect my mouth. I do forgive thy rankest fault, all of them, and require my dukedom of thee, which perforce I know thou must restore.
If thou beest, Prospero, give us particulars of thy preservation. How hast thou met us here, whom 3 hours since were wrecked upon this shore, where I lost... How sharp the point of this remembrance is. My dear son Ferdinand.
I am woe for it, madam.
Irreparable is the loss. And patience says that it is past her cure.
I rather think you have not sought her help, of whose soft grace you may call to comfort you. Welcome, liege. This cell's my court. Here have I few attendants and subjects, none abroad. Pray you look in. My dukedom, since you have given me again, I will requite you with as good a thing. At least, bring forth a wonder to content ye as much as me, my dukedom.
Sweet lord, you play me false.
No, dearest love, I would not for the world.
Yes, for a score of kingdoms you should wrangle. and I would call it fair play.
If this be a vision of the island, one dear son I shall lose twice.
A most high miracle.
Oh, now the blessings of a glad man that compass thee about.
Though the seas threaten, they are merciful. I have cursed them without cause.
Oh, wonder! How many goodly people are there here? How beauteous mankind is! How brave new world that has such people in it!
Oh, 'tis new to thee.
What is this maid with whom thou wast at play? Your eldest acquaintance cannot be 3 hours. Is she the goddess that has severed us and brought us thus together?
Madam, she is mortal. But by mortal providence, she's mine. I chose her when I could not ask my mother for her advice, nor thought I had one. She is daughter to this famous Duke of Milan, of whom so often I've heard renowned but never seen before, of whom I have received the second life, and second father this lady makes unto me.
Then I am hers. But oh, how oddly it must sound that I should have to ask my child for forgiveness.
There, madam, stop. Let us not burthen our remembrance with a heaviness that's gone.
Oh, I have inly wept, or should have spoke ere this. Look down, you God, and on this couple drop a blessed crown, for it is you that have chalked forth the way which brought us hither.
I say amen, Gonzalo.
Was Milan thrust from Milan that his issue should become kings of Naples? Oh, rejoice beyond a common joy and set it down with gold on lasting pillars. In one voyage did Claribel her husband find in Tunis, and Ferdinand her brother found a wife where he himself was lost. Prospero, his dukedom in a poor isle, and all of us ourselves when no man was his own.
Let grief and sorrow still embrace his heart, who doth God wish you joy.
Be it so, amen. Oh, look, sir! Look, sir! Here's more of us! I prophesied if a gallows were on land, this fellow could not drown. Oh, now blasphemy that swears grace or board, not an oath on shore. Hast thou no mouth by land? What is the news?
Well, the best news is we have safely found our queen and company. The next, our ship, which but 3 glasses since we gave out split, is tight and yar and bravely rigged as when we first put out to sea.
Sir, all this service have I done since I went.
My tricksy spirit.
These are not natural events, and they grow in strength from strange to stranger. Say how you came hither.
If I did think, madam, I were well awake, I'd strive to tell you. We were dead of sleep, and how we know not, all clapped under hatches, where but even now, with strange and several noises of roaring, shrieking, howling, jingling of chains, and more diversity of sounds, all horrible. We were awaked straightway at liberty, where we in all her trim freshly beheld our royal good and gallant ship, our master capering to eye her. On a trice, so please you, as if in a dream, were we brought from them and brought moping hither.
Was it well done?
Bravely, my diligence, thou shalt be brave.
This is as strange a means as ever man tried, and there is in this business more than nature could ever be conduct of.
My liege, do not infest your mind with beating on the strangeness of this business. At picked leisure, single, I'll resolve you of each of these happened accidents. Till when, be cheerful, and think of each thing well. Come hither, spirit. Set Caliban and his companions free. Untie the spell. How fares my gracious liege? There are yet missing of your company some few odd lads, you remember not?
Let every man take care for all the rest, and let no man take care of himself, for all is but fortune. Coraggio, bully monster, coraggio.
If these be true spies which I wear in my head, Here's a goodly sight!
These be brave spirits indeed. How fine my master is. I am afraid he will chastise me.
What are these, my Lord Antonio? Will money buy them?
Very like. One of them's plain fish and no doubt marketable.
Mark with the badges of these men, my lords, and say if they be true. This malcontented knave, his mother was a witch, and one so strong that could control the moon, make flows and ebbs, and deal in her command without her power. These three have robbed me, and this demi-devil, for he's a bastard one, had plotted with them to take my life. Two of these fellows you must know and own. This thing of darkness acknowledge mine.
I shall be pinched to death.
Is this not my drunken butler, Stefano?
He is drunk now? Or had he wine?
Tricula is really right. Where had they found such grand liquor that had gilded them? Say how you came in this pickle.
I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last that I fear me will never out my bones. I do not fear fly blowing.
How now, Stefano?
No, touch me not! I am not Stefano, but a crab.
You'll be king of the Isles, Sirrah?
I should have been a sore one then.
This is a stranger man as e'er I saw.
He is malcontented in his mind as he is in his manners. Go, Sirrah, to my cell. Take with you your companions. As you look to have my pardon, trim it handsomely.
Aye, that I will. And I'll be wise hereafter and seek for grace. What a thrice double ass was I to take this drunkard for a god and worship this dull fool.
Go to, away.
Handsome, bestow your luggage where you found it.
Or stole it, rather.
Madam, I invite your highness and your train to my poor cell, where you shall take your rest this one night. Which, part of it, I shall wait with such discourse as I no doubt shall make it go quick away. And in the morn, I'll bring you to your ship, and so to Naples, where I have hoped to see the nuptials of these, our dear beloved, solemnized. And thence, retire me to my Milan, where every third thought shall be my grave.
I long to hear the story of your life. It must take the ear strangely.
I'll deliver all, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sails so expeditious that shall catch your royal fleet far off. My aerial chick, that is thy charge. And then to the elements. Be free and fare thou well. Please you join me. Now my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have's my own, which is most faint. Now 'tis true I must be here confined by you, or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardon the deceiver, dwell in this bare island by your spell, but release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. Gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which was to please. Now I want spirits to enforce, art to enchant. And my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself and frees all faults. As you, from crimes, would pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free.
drive us down, never swear for peace. For she had a tongue with a jet. Sailor, go ahead.